Welcome back to Sonic the Hedgehog. Now we're going into the Spring Yard Zone. Spring Yard, I actually do quite like this level. You know, it's a little bit complicated and there is some waiting around, like particularly... Oh, there's the cope thing, by the way, that's kind of funny. It just says the word cope for some reason. But like, these sections are the worst parts of it in my eyes, you know, just stand on the thing, wait for it to go down. Gotta go fast.
Yeah.
And this is the thing with Sonic 1 that's why I think it doesn't do quite as favourably compared to 2 and 3 and K. There's a speed cap. Like, Sonic can only go so fast in this game, and apparently that's because, like, having it uncapped was making Yuki Naka feel motion sick. Like, okay, you're making a fast game, get used to it. Thankfully that sort of got cleared up with Sonic 2, because Sonic 2 you can go pretty fast in that game. One thing that we were briefly touching on off screen and I thought might be an interesting little thing to talk about is that in recent time there's been some like sort of retro throwback games. Chris, you mentioned Shovel Knight and that.
Yeah, I was just wondering like how do you think these this game holds up towards like the more modern takes like Shovel Knight and more modern sort of 2D platformers?
I think, well, Shovel Knight in itself, I wouldn't really compare them on the basis that Shovel Knight's more taking on Mega Man than Sonic. But what the one that most comes to mind in terms of sort of like retro throwbacks like Sonic is that Freedom Planet game, which I tried playing that. Like, granted at the time I was playing a not so great port of it. I was playing the Mac version, which... Again, at the time, I think it's been patched up a little bit now, but the Mac version of Freedom Planet when that came out was bad. Like, it was low frame rate, it didn't perform well at all. But there were some design decisions that... What threw me off was that it's like Sonic, but it's not Sonic. Like, you know, the characters sort of... Like, well, the gameplay in itself, it looks like Sonic, but it controls quite a bit differently, so it's like a sort of dissonance. I can't hold that against the game, it's just like why I personally don't get on with it. Like these sort of retro throwback games on the whole have sort of been overdone a little bit, you know. It seems like there's a lot of retro sprite side-scrolling indie games lately, you know. Kind of feels like it's just outsiders welcome, you know.
Oh yeah.
But there, we've got another Chaos Emerald. Because these special stages, like, they're not exactly amazing, but once you get down where you're meant to be going in them, they're pretty easy. But I should probably, as far as I know, I'm the only one who's beat all the classic games. So, I should say that Sonic 1, I kind of, although it does have the speed and pacing issues, I prefer 1 to 3 and K. And that's not really a popular opinion. Like,
I was surprised you said that. I thought you'd prefer the others.
Well, to me, like, I'd say I prefer 2 a little bit over this, but maybe it's because I've got most experience with this and I can sort of play it a lot more smoothly. But 3 and K drags to me.
Oh,
like, it just feels like it goes on longer than it should. The reason I say that as well is that some of the levels in 3 and K, looking at you, fucking Sandopolis, I could really fucking do without.
right.
There's nothing like Sandopolis in this. Like, Labyrinth, it's not a fun level, but it's not Sandopolis. It doesn't go on as long as Sandopolis. And that's one thing, like, as a Sonic fan, the Sonic Mega Drive games aren't the sacred cows to me that they are to other people. I have no issue saying I have more fun with Advance 2 than I do the classics. Because Advance...
You were introduced to the 3D games first, weren't you?
Well, no, the first... I think either this or Sonic 2 was like the first video game I ever remember playing.
Oh, yeah.
But like the first game I really got into was Sonic Adventure. Like, Sonic Adventure just interested me in a way that the classics didn't really at the time. Now I've got a bit more of an attention span, I can go back and enjoy the classics. You know, but as a little kid with some problems. Let's just say, like Sonic spin dashing and homing attacking and shit in 3D was far more exciting to me. And yeah, now we're on the tail end of the special stages, and this one, these later ones are more deceptively irritating. They're not hard, but the springs are everywhere, and they bounce you back. They bounce you all over the fucking place, and it's kind of annoying when you've got them R like blocks as well, which I didn't mention earlier. They just change which way the level's rotating, really.
Reversing it, or I don't know, something like that.
Something like that. It probably means something in Japanese. But we got all the special stages now, so woo! If this were 2, we'd have Supersonic, but in this game they do literally nothing.
Or the R could just simply stand for rotate.
Stop being smart. Got a pretty cool jump there. This is one thing that I do take issue with the multiple acts in this game, because it feels like they're reusing a lot of stuff. Like, we've seen this set piece before, we've seen the last rolling down the hill set piece before. This could be the first act again, you know? Yeah, I think it could be interesting to go over. Stephen, do you have a favourite 2D Sonic?
The first Sonic game that I played is this.
Fair play. You mean, out of the games you've seen, you prefer this to the enhanced GBA port?
No, I would never say that. That is just miserably slow.
Yeah, it is. And the thing with that is that, to my knowledge, I think it might have been Stealth actually, the guy who ended up making the official Sonic CD port. I think it was him who managed to make a working GBA port of Sonic 1 without issue that plays fine. So it wasn't just that like they had some issue with the hardware at stake or whatever. It was that they were lazy. I believe the reason why that was that they tried to port the classic games into the Sonic Advance engine. At least I've heard that somewhere. Again, don't quote me on that. But it makes sense that there would be some kind of incompatibility, but it doesn't make sense why they would release it in that state. That's the thing that fascinates me with bad games, and I'm not talking about like mediocre games or games that are a little bit glitchy. I mean flat out fucking broken games. The fact that's actually been through multiple people have said yes, this is fit for release, that confuses me more than anything, you know? Like, just ow.
Just like with Boom and 06.
So the thing with 06, I get that. Like, you know, there's obviously some sort of developmental disaster there. They're probably rushed or some shit like that. There's all kinds of different theories, and I think that's all they are, theories. But like, you can tell there was something going wrong there that would have led up to that. But that game looked like it had, you know, it was playable. The final release, like, yeah, it's patchy, it's broken, but it's playable. Then you get things like Genesis where, like, you don't even need to play a minute of that to see there's a problem. You just get kind of where I'm going with that.
Yeah. I don't know how they did that. What's your favourite zone? Water level for you?
Water level, slow water level.
Because apparently hedgehogs can't swim.
Yeah, that was one of Fujinaka's little mistakes, wasn't it? If you're gonna base a decision on something you believe to be biologically true, just fact check. Like, to be fair, like, they did sort of change that, like, with colours, so you can sort of jump endlessly underwater, and colours probably has the most fun Sonic underwater gameplay in Aquarium Park, I think it is. That's a game we should look up someday, because I kind of want an excuse to perfect that game.
But then again, in one of the Sonic games, apparently it says that Amy became fast because she accessed her speed gene, or something, innate hedgehog speed gene. So all hedgehogs have this ability.
Can you cite your sources for that? Because I have a feeling it might have been fanfictioned on that.
No, I just remember seeing it on Screw Attack. They did a death battle.
Oh, okay.
And they found it from one of the games.
Yeah, I'm not sure how much I trust those death battles.
I know, but...
Like, I'm not gonna lie, the fucking Goku versus Superman one, the comments to that, you know, it's...
I just find them fun to watch, really. I don't...
I just like the fact that there are grown adults bickering over this shit. Not that I'm one to talk, given how I present myself in some of these Sonic runs, but...
So one of the things I prefer is a thing called 1 Minute Melee. They don't bother with looking into research or anything, they just make them fight.
Straight to the point.
Yeah. And they're really fun to watch, and they're higher quality often enough than that of Death Battle.
It sounds like an abridged Pokemon film. Just take out all the bullshit, because everyone's here for the big, like the big monsters fighting each other.
It's like the Hooper film.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, Luigi is only in it for like a minute or so, unfortunately.
To be fair though, Luigi's already had a film.
Yeah, but even so, he just pops up briefly to fight Hooper Unbound.
Is it the same Luigi or a different Luigi?
It's a different one, it didn't speak.
Oh.
None of the legendaries speak except for Hooper.
Oh. But yeah, like Lugia, to be fair, had the best film, so whatevs.
Ash got to ride around on a Mega Latios, Latias, and Mega Rayquaza.
Well, Mega Latios and Mega Latias are basically the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
That's fucking lazy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but both of them are exactly identical anyway.
Yeah, they couldn't even give us a fucking re-colour. Like, I'm a Sonic fan, I expect re-colours.
Their eyes are different colours.
Doesn't fucking count. Anyway, we're playing this turquoise Sonic right now, that's different, right?
Yay!
Have you seen any of the Sonic Mania stuff?
Yeah, you don't like the colour of his sprite.
That's my biggest issue with the game.
I don't have a problem with it.
It's just, I don't get why they've made... He's a lighter shade of blue, and given this is meant to be like classic Sonic, why are they changing his design? The only reason he looked like that little bit lighter in Gens was because, like, to make him easily distinct from modern, but they don't need to do that here.
Oh, well, I don't see it as a problem. I'm not you, so...
You're not as petty as me.
They changed the colour of his eyes, Harry. Freak out.
Oh, God!
Well, so the thing is, like, I don't mind the green eyes. I think the green eyes are, like, an enhancement of Sonic's design. Like, they add more detail between classic Sonic and modern Sonic. Whereas just changing Sonic's colour for no reason. That's just... no. And it doesn't look right. Especially what makes it stand out for me is that they have a reimagined Green Hill Zone. And Green Hill is the same green as it was in Sonic 1. So now, like, you run through Green Hill...
Notice it.
Yeah, and it just sort of really sticks out. They would have got away with it, probably. Like, well, not completely, but it would have been less prominent if they had entirely new stages, but And I'm not going to rag on them for reusing Green Hill, because it is a reimagined Green Hill. It's not just, like, you know, Green Hill again. Like, and for the fact that it is a 2D game, like, I'd rather have a new theme, but I've come to just accept it, you know, I'm gonna get spoon-fed more Green Hill. But apparently they are also reimagining levels from other classic games as well. So it'll be interesting to see what we get. I think I've heard mention of a CD level, and I would love if it was Wacky Workbench just to fuck with people. Nah, but real talk, it'll probably be Stardust Speedway. That's probably the most memorable CD level, really, isn't it?
Have we got? Did we get N Generations? We didn't, did we?
Nah.
We got. What was the one we played? CD Sonic.
Oh, that was Stardust Speedway where you did the race, but you didn't get it as a full level.
Oh, right, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, it's really counted in this person.
Yeah, and the race in Generations was so much better than the one in CD. The one in CD is really awkward. And, like, CD, the other thing I really remember from it a lot is the music in CD is based. Like, I prefer the Japanese soundtrack the Japanese and European soundtrack to the American one, but both of them have some pretty good songs on them.
I like the soundtrack in CD and the It's like the craziness of the level design as well.
Yeah, they just complement each other, don't they?
Yeah.
It's like you got these weird. Like, admittedly, the bosses are too easy. Let's be fair.
To be honest, the whole game is pretty easy, isn't it? Would you say? It's one
Yeah,
of the easy
really.
ones, but I kind of like it for that. It's,
Yeah.
I don't know how it rates, like speed-wise. Like, it's pretty quick, isn't it?
I think it's probably technically on par with 2, but where there's springs everywhere, there's shit to fire you back. It's complete craziness, but in a good way. Like, you can tell that it was like the design mentality from 1, except everyone was stoned. It's like, you know, when, like, if you're a kid and you just figure out a debug mode kind of thing for the first time, and you just sort of stick springs everywhere, you stick pads wherever, you know, like, just fuck it, let's just have everything fucking everywhere. That is CD. That is like Sonic 1 as though the levels were designed by a dickhead. And I can't fault it for that, like, at all.
I just suddenly thought, what if Sonic Boom had an actual water level? Imagine that.
Well, nah, because we've got to have Sonic awkwardly run on top of the water like he's fucking Jesus or some shit.
Yeah, but he couldn't even do that properly. He stepped on the water like an inch, a millimetre into the water, and he just dies.
Well, that is until you get that power up, isn't it?
Yeah, that terrible power up that makes Sonic slower than he actually is.
I still think my favourite thing from that was that time when I think it was in the lyrics, the early lyrics layer level where there's the water section, and I just went back up onto land and it didn't register me as going back onto land. That was great.
The main thing that irritated me about that game was one of the many things that irritated me about that game was the fact that with that water power up, it gives the impression that Sonic isn't as fast as he is in previous games, considering he needs this random bit of technology to be able to run on water.
Yeah, it's like we've seen him boost over water in Unleashed, and we've seen him boost over water in Generations. Like, nah. This is like weak Sonic.
Yeah, he's meant to be running at the speed of sound, and right now he can't even step on a puddle without dying.
Poor Sonic. Life is cruel. And this is probably the worst part of Labyrinth Zone, isn't it?
Oh, right.
It's just so awkward. This is the part.
It repeats, doesn't it?
I don't think it does, but like the problem is that there's the spikes, there's the fire, and if you do the first part quite quickly, Robotnik would still be there. So you hit him, then you get bounced back into a spike or a fireball. And that's the point. We always rag on Mario for being able to throw fireballs underwater. The same fucking thing's happening here. You know?
Maybe they buy the same fire.
Yeah, this is like the fire dealer or something.
Yeah, why not?
I'll live with this. I'll take this.
There's
whatever.
a blue hedgehog running at the speed of sound. I can live with fire that's bought somewhere that can somehow stay lit underwater.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe it's fire from the tail of a Charizard.
It is indeed lit, but we'll see you next time for the finale of Sonic the Hedgehog. See you then.